What is a masterpiece? What is a golden age? That's going to be answered today on this episode of Cinemas 2024, an annual celebration of everything Christmas by yours truly, aka Pad, AKAPAD, the film buff, Mickey's Christmas Carol, 1983. We have to look at this movie. It is a adaptation of the Charles Dickens classic. I mean, it's the greatest Christmas story of all time and was written like 200 years ago, and we still love it today. But this piece, Mickey's Christmas Carol as a work, it's unstoppable. It could be Disney's greatest single animation ever. Let's go.
Ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas!
As you can guess, as you can already see, I'm excited for this movie. It's 30 minutes, but I do classify it as a feature because it just goes so far in such a short amount of time. A lot of us, when it comes to Christmas Carol, this was our first introduction, first engagement, the first time we actually saw a lot of these Disney characters. I remember, I was able to watch DuckTales as a kid because I knew who Scrooge McDuck was from this. It just works. This movie works, and it works on a level that is very hard to discuss. I often say, we can dissect and we can drill into what's not good about a lot of things, and it's easier to break it apart and to even extrapolate and hypothesize and to see the holes and the breaks in the production. But when something is perfect, when something is a masterpiece, the only thing you can do is just admire it and appreciate it and look at it. I do believe the 80s is the golden age of Walt Disney animation. Saturdays and Sundays, as all of you know, we do cartoons, we do animation. So I've been, this calendar year, I've watched more animation than I have since I was younger. And I'm seeing things through a different set of eyes. Thank God for Disney Plus. This is available right now on Disney Plus. I implore all of you to go see it. It's probably there somewhere on the homepage. Quick side note about Disney Plus, AKAPAD. Let me know what you think. So I log in today on Disney Plus, and let me just get a little sip of my coffee. We got some iced coffee here. So I log into Disney Plus, and I get the pop up that ESPN Plus content is now available on Disney Plus. So I don't just get Disney anymore. I get all the Hulu crap, and now I'm getting all the Disney Plus crap, and I feel like I have a separate freak out brewing over this because none of it screams Disney. The overlap doesn't feel right. It's just not there. And if there was like a toggle, if there was an option for me to go back to Disney Plus proper, or Disney Plus 616, or Disney Plus Prime, the original Disney Plus, I would, and I just would never look back at that point. Yeah, so I log in earlier, I get this ESPN Plus pop up, and I just wanted to see, if they had like a Christmas section, so I can just scroll through, and there's a Mickey holiday special. That's an anthology. It's about an hour and 10 minutes long. That's not this, but sometimes when, and we're going someplace here. Sometimes when Mickey's Christmas Carol would air, it would often air with this Mickey holiday anthology that equally has a ton of characters and parables, but I'm not 100% familiar with that. I haven't watched that yet. But Mickey's Christmas Carol is a separate piece. The whole idea, 30 minutes, you go see the Jungle Book, and before the Jungle Book played, you would get this. because the Jungle Book got re-released at the time. And then later, this became a staple on American television, and I'm sure on stations around the world. This feature is also your introduction to, as I said earlier, with Uncle Scrooge McDuck. It's an introduction to the world of Disney, the Disney characters. Ghost of Christmas Present, I believe, is the giant from Mickey's Beanstalk. Goofy is Jacob Marley. Jacob Marley, the former business partner, he's like the first ghost that we see. Mickey is Bob Cratchit. But it's also a wonderful introduction to just the world and the characters of Disney. And while I was watching this, it really makes you just love the characters. It does something weird. The production value is so high. I was just staring at what the process could have been in 1983, because they're still they're painting everything by hand. They're tracing the animation drawings. But the cell photography, it's just flawless. It's seamless. Through the course of, these weekend animation drops, we see a lot of animation that isn't photographed 100%, meaning there's shadows. It skips the color grading, and the color correction or the color matching is not 100%. So even hues can shift from scene to scene. The consistency of Disney just as a production and the technical part of this, and then it enters you into this world of Disney. This is the beginning of Disney adults and all of these things that we see today, because the quality is so high. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, why does Lego, why is Lego the one that interprets everything, right? Why is Lego the one that does Star Wars and Batman and the Marvel characters? Lego adopts and everything. But where are the Disney characters in this? Even with their pool of intellectual properties, all the acquisitions throughout the years, Marvel, Star Wars, Fox, it goes on and on. Why are the Disney characters not adapting classics from within their own library? It's unsettling, because we see, again, it shouldn't be Lego. Disney should be leading this. It's a broader, bigger idea. It's almost more of a content direction pitch for the whole company, but it makes you miss it, because if these characters can be portrayed and they look so good on screen in such a classic, why don't we get the Disney characters, Star Wars New Hope, for example, or Avengers, or Captain America First Avenger? I don't know, but it did make me miss that. It made me want it. But for anyone out there that's just interested in what a perfect story is, or what a perfect adaptation is, it is this. There's been 2-hour versions. There's actually been miniseries versions of Christmas Carol. There's been, we just did Spirited, that goes into this hypothetical backstory of the mechanics behind the ghosts and all of that. It's a little bit of a deconstruction. We've seen 90-minute versions. We've seen this story in play. We've seen it portrayed by Jim Carrey and Robert Zemeckis. It goes on and on. The length of this story varies, but to get everything you need to know and see and actually feel, and there is dread in this, especially when he sees his grave in hell on fire at the gravesite in the graveyard. It's horrific. As a kid, that scars you. But this is a perfect adaptation. It's a perfect boiling down. And I'm not sure where any improvement can lie. And that's the perfection. Charles Dickens, as an author and the creator, created a perfect story. It goes on and on. everybody is lining up to adapt this. We could probably get 10 filmmakers right now, 10 of Hollywood's biggest, newest, upcoming filmmakers, and they all would have a different pitch for this. It's substantial. Mickey's Christmas Carol really made me admire what this story is in an age of Disney animation that I think is unparalleled worldwide. I don't think any studio has come close to what Disney could do in the 80s. Now, I know a lot of you want to just point to everything in the 90s, Little Mermaid, Lion King, but I'm talking across the board. There was a lot of things that came out in the 90s that we would like to forget. Maybe some of the straight to DVD stuff, but it's still, or straight to video stuff, but it's still of a high quality. Disney always had a high mark, and it does upset me a little when I see some of the newer stuff. There's a new Charlie Brown Christmas I saw on Apple Plus, and it just it just loses something. There's just something lost. It's hard to define. Yes, it's probably due to the production process, but we make these same arguments with American comics, where when everything went digital and there's no paper anymore, there is a loss of art, and it's so hard to define, and you kind of have to go along with it, because guess what, everyone is doing it, which makes, I don't know, it's a bigger argument. But AKAPADers, check this out. This movie's fantastic.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody!